So I bought 20 of these Thuja Emerald Green 7G. It's some sort of an arborvitae, I think, from Costco. 25 bucks a piece. What a bargain. I need a visual screen against the whole world looking into my yard. It's got to come back fast, so I've got a bunch of questions. I got a chance to show you a slinger truck throwing gabion rock downhill. I'll try to catch the big ones. I'm always shocked at how much longer things take than I thought they were going to, and related to that, how much slower I am now than I was even just 5 or 6 years ago. But that's okay, because just look at this slinger truck. Bart runs this thing like it's an extension of his own arm. Now, I have a Luddite tendency, right? And sometimes I worry about the reality of machines taking our jobs. Right up to a moment like this. And then I'm just grateful for it. The comments that you posted after that garden video we put up a while ago convinced me of at least 2 things. The top of the root ball on these things needs to be above the adjacent ground level by quite a bit. I'm going to guess 2 or 2.5 inches. And they need lots of water, at least for the first few years. So I have a sprinkler pipe in mind, similar to the one that I use to water my tomatoes. Jumping up to 5:30 seconds. 11/64. Fingers crossed. Okay, that end down there is about a foot lower than this end. Seems to have a little more pressure. Well, this is what I'm going to go with. 3/16 holes, 20 of them, 3 feet apart, that are going to be spraying out onto the bottom of the arborvitae. I've got to deal with the fact that this end of the pipe is at least a foot lower than the other end. So we're getting more water down here. But I've got enough dirt, I can raise this grade maybe 4 or 5 inches, lower that down there 4, 5, or 6 inches, get it balanced out, and start thinking about digging and fertilizing and planting and mulching and laying this project to rest. This old house was built in 1924 on this site. And at that time, the road that we're listening to and watching and that I'm trying to cover up a little bit just stopped right at the North Umpqua River about 20 miles east of here. No log trucks, no interstate commerce, and no road noise whatsoever. But as you can see, times have changed, and I'm hoping to regain at least a little bit of privacy, even if I still have to deal with all the noise. This gabion rock is screened to include everything between 3 and 6 inches, and I can tell you that without my Kubota equipment, I wouldn't even try a project like this. Well, so far the plan's working out. It's been a fair amount of work juggling these rocks, but it's been easy marking the spot to dig the holes. The water did that for me. I just got in here with a shovel and sort of put a little pothole where most of the water was hitting. Which means now, at long last, I can get the excavator out, dig these things maybe twice as deep as they need to be, and fill it back in with some Fert Rich, it's called. It's a topsoil that's manufactured by Douglas County Farmers Co-op. That's pretty nice, lots of organics. My only concern is whether or not it will anchor these things in place, one problem at a time. Well, I've got to say it's a relief to get these things at least this close to in the ground. I'm going to turn the water on again, fill these holes up with water, let these trees get good and soaked up. Then, I don't know, maybe this afternoon or tomorrow I'll get them situated and start backfilling them with a mix of the amended soil and the junk that came out. Maybe they'll be happy. My friend Daniel Lander says these trees love water. That's the same thing I got from the comments in the channel. I put them 3 feet apart, which was in the range of the comments that I got from the channel. I haven't decided whether to unravel the roots a little bit when I situate them, but we're getting to that point. I'm just a little surprised, frankly, that I kept them alive. They've been sitting alongside my garden for 3 months, and it's been warm, and they die when they dry. So anyhow, they're in the ground, they're safe for now, and frankly, I'm ready to move on to other things pretty soon. So this column mix is kind of a European thing for mixing mortar and cement and different things. And I'll be honest, I haven't really adapted to it, and I don't do that much grout and that sort of thing. But it sure works good for mixing the potting mix, fert-rich stuff that our local farm supply makes, and the junk dirt that comes out of this. I mean, black mud and gravel. Column mix is helping us today. So I've got to say, and maybe you've picked up on the fact, that Kelly is the hardest working person I know. She just simply never stops. In fact, in her younger years, she used to begrudge the hours that were devoted to sleeping. It hurts me nowadays to see how the years are just kind of beginning to slow her down a little, though I still can't keep up with her relentless, unyielding ambition. But even in this, just trying to not let her lap me over and over for all these years has turned me into a more focused worker. Now, I wasn't bad before, but even in this area, being yoked to this girl for almost 50 years has made me a better man. So the bonus round on this project came right at the end. It was when our daughter Amanda brought Asa and a friend of his out to help with chores. They do that on most Wednesdays all summer, and I can tell you it is a blessing in our lives. And so to wrap this up, I guess I've recognized that these 20 trees are maybe 4 times as many trees as I have planted in all of my 67 years previous. It was a hard project. Boy, it feels good now that it's done, and it makes me realize that we spend a lot of our lives standing in the shade of trees that other men and women have planted, right? I wonder why it is that we so seldom set aside the time or undertake to plant or nourish or water something that we can leave behind to ease the journey of those coming along later. The projects that don't do us all that much good, but might make a big difference for somebody long down the road who just needs a moment's shade and a spot to rest. Thanks for watching Essential Craftsman. Keep up the good work.